JMats here, GenerationD20.com, doing an after-the-fact voiceover for what is actually Draft Beer 32A. I'm in the same queue as Bob and George. Well, Bob and George are together tonight, and I had to stay home with a sick son, but I am here in the queue, and I'm going to do the draft walkthrough. Looking here, my inclination there was to try to go with maybe a blue-white flyer deck. Passed up on the Victim of the Night, which is probably the most powerful thing out of there, out of this pack. Deadweight, Bonds of Faith, Into the Maw of Hell, Smite the Monstrosity, all pretty good. Sentry as well, but Bonds of Faith is somewhat of a no-brainer if I'm sticking to white. Bonds and Faith, now that I said that, well, there's another Bonds of Faith, and, probably have to take it. Against many decks is really powerful. The thing I dislike about it most is that against werewolves, it's only kind of effective. Against zombies, against vampires, I mean, it definitely has its place, but because the werewolves have the human and werewolf at once, before they're flipped, they're actually pretty I don't know. They have a good support. They don't die to Victim of Night, but they also don't stop or aren't stopped by a Bonds of Faith. I considered that, but I decided to go with the Cloister Youth. Keep with more of a aggressive deck, which I think white is just better off that way. If you get kind of the spirits, flying spirit type of a deck. And Cloister Youth, I mean, it's obviously not a spirit, but it's not bad. It can get in a couple of early hits, help whittle down that life total before you take to the skies. Much in the same way Unruly Mob can. Now their Claustrophobia, I saw that I passed, and that would have been something I could have considered. I'm not sure I would have wanted to, because at this point I'm still, mono white, and keeping out of a second color for a while can be very beneficial, especially if you open pack 2 and find yourself with a bomb. If you want to be able to hop onto a different color or a second color, it's nice to still be open. Now here, looking at it, maybe I take Boneyard Worm, but I probably would have gone Typhoid Rats or even maybe Moment of Heroism if I were to pick in hindsight, which is effectively what I'm doing with this recording. The Moment of Heroism I've found is much better than I gave it credit for originally. That being said, now that I have a Boneyard Worm, a Hollow Hinge, it's kind of a no-brainer there. And green-white isn't a bad pairing. I prefer white-blue or green-red, but green-white opens you up to travel preparations shenanigans, and that is a pretty effective combo. Deranged Assistant would be possibly good. I think I take the Laboratory Maniac just because at some point I know I'm going to build a Laboratory Maniac deck. Not sure I have that much of a choice. Wonder if there's a... There's Travel Preparations. Also a Silent Departure there. That could have been decent, but if you go green-white, Travel Preparations is pretty key. Moon Mist, if I got some werewolves, potentially, I mean, the fact that I'm through pack one or almost through pack one and don't have any means I'm probably not going to have such a significant number that I would want to play support cards like that, but it's not bad to have it just in case. Here it's kind of like, do I want to get rid of the typhoid rats so I can't block, or corpse lunge, and I went with that. Kindercatch. Kindercatch. It's not going to make the deck. Lesser of two. They're not even evils. It's just mop up. Who cares what I'm picking? Okay, so I did get pushed a little bit into green, but I would not say it's a significant enough choice that if I open up something great off color that I wouldn't just go with that. Here, really like Elder Cather is kind of what I'm looking at. Um, can replace itself if you can get a little heavier with humans. There's another Elder Cather, and there's the shiny foil werewolves, which probably is what I have to go with. 5/5 regenerating is just hard to deal with. And here, another 5/5 regenerator is probably the pick. Blazing Torch would have also been a pretty good pick to have. And, once you pick up those guys, you're not playing Kindercatch. The problem with the Elder Cather, I mean, I took him knowing that I'm in white and hopefully going to have some humans, but right now it's like basically he's just helping my unruly mob. There's a torch. Easy pick there. There was the one-eyed scarecrow, and we've actually passed a couple of those, and I like the scarecrows. And I can't remember. It's been a while since I recorded this draft. I can't remember if this is the one where I end up picking several of them and playing several of them. Spider's Grasp is much better than I've given it credit for, so that might have been the better pick here. I think I go with the Geist Catcher's Rig, which, I mean, potentially kills and gives you a body, so I'm not saying it's a bad choice, but that card is not bad, but I don't know. I just wasn't fully on board with it. And there, because I'm getting more Elder Cathers, I decided to go with more unruly mobs, up my human quotient. Spiders are definitely playable, and I took the Make-A-Wish, and I think that's a mistake, because you can lose to flight so quickly in this format. Uh, Having some things with reach to go along with, like the Geist Catcher's Rig and the Voiceless Spirit, would just give me another way to slow down their air assault. Here, Caravan Vigil's the only on-color card, so it's not really a shock that that's what I would be picking. And Altar's Reap is probably the best card available. Not that I'll be playing it. What I don't like here, I really could use like a Prey Upon, um, Slayer of the Wicked, something like that. Right now it's like Bonds of Faith and a Torch is my answer to their threats. I would like a little bit more than that. Bramble Crush is probably what I should take. I don't know if I do or if I take the Woodland Sleuth, but it just is a really good, diverse answer because there are a lot of non-creature threats, and taking nearly unplayable wall and an okay artifact. I actually don't mind the wings at all. Um, they're enough, especially in green, just either of my werewolves or even the Geist Catcher's rig. Put flight on it afterwards and send it attacking in. And so, waiting for pack number 3. Oh, for the last crappy couple cards in pack number 2 and then pack number 3. Not of the bone, I've never seen anyone use it, and I don't really think it, yes, feasibly it's good, but it almost have to be with Splinter Fright if you were trying to race somehow. Um, Here, Mind Shrieker and Bloodline Keeper, so 2 very powerful rares. Uh, I mean, I think you have to take the Bloodline Keeper, or I think I did. It's just too good on its own, and I probably should have switched into black. I mean, it's that good that it probably deserved more attention than I got here. Spidery Grasp is what I should have taken. And I did. But I bet I don't put it in my deck. But maybe, who knows, maybe this was the time when I had my change of heart and discovered just how good that card is. It almost always is removal. I mean, surprise removal. Assuming you have a creature out there. And they don't 2 for 1 use, so by almost always, I mean sometimes, and yeah, sometimes it is far worse. It really kind of sucks. So the Bloodline Keeper, yeah, that's good. Ooh, Gavany Township. Now, in truth, the Priest or the Rebuke would probably be better. I mean, the Gavany Township, if you get it rolling, is just awesome. Get a bunch of creatures out there and grow your army. But uh, I don't know. I don't see my deck as, you end up trading creatures so much and limited that you end up putting a counter on like 1 or 2 creatures, and for 4 mana that's a lot to be paying to do that. But I don't actually have one, had not played with it at this point, so that has to factor in. And here, that High Priest in combination with our Bloodline Keeper really starts to make you wonder whether I'm making the right choices with black, but The Dark Thicket Wolf is a good aggressive 2-drop. Another Bonds of Faith. I mean, I probably have to take it, but it's more of the same semi-effective removal. Sharpened Pitchfork actually would be really good with the deck I have. It's probably better than Bonds of Faith. Take the Pitchfork. Good. Yeah, because you put that on one of your unruly mobs as they grow. Put that on one of the Elder Cathars, or even on an unflipped werewolf. Giving any of those guys first strike and a little bit of a power boost is a good thing. Oh, Pilgrim. Love that. Gives me something to do on turn one. Not that I'll ever see him on my opening hand, but if I do, I'll give thanks. Wow, that's stupid. Um, so right now, I'm not in love with the deck, but I can see, I can definitely see the upside to it. I mean, it should be able to kind of hold its own early. Hamlet Captain goes with what I'm doing rather well. And if it can hold its own early and then hopefully get one of those regenerating werewolves or get, the wings onto something that can fly in for some victory. I have quite a few humans, so the dagger is potentially, it's playable. Won't necessarily make the cut. I'm not going to play Make a Wish, or at least not two of them. I don't know why I took that. But I probably am not playing the dagger either. In truth, if I had one that had like trample, one of those throbbing sentries that I passed, then maybe. Ghost Quarter, Urgent Exorcism, it's just like which of the threats do I think I'm more likely to encounter? And take the spider since I made the mistake of not taking it earlier. And Harvest Fire, yeah, that's pretty easy. Got, ooh, double Purebloods, wow. There's some cards to avoid if I've ever seen a couple. And clean up. What land am I going to get? Let's say island. Is it going to be? It should be a plains or a forest, since those are the colors I drafted. But I'm going to go with an island. And a mountain it is. Way to go. Wrong on all counts. And so, let's get into the deck building. Anytime now. We used the mobs, the Bonds of Faith, both Elder Cathars, my Voiceless Spirit. Pretty easy. Toss in the torch. I want my pitchfork and the Geist Catcher's Rig. And then, obviously, the Pilgrim makes sense. A Hamlet Captain, Travel Preparations, the Wolf. Um, the Hollow Henge I put in, I don't know if it was obvious, but I probably would have ended up there anyway. Spidery Grasp, I should be putting in. Good, I did. I'm not sure about the Boneyard Worm, though. That could be a mistake. Bramble Crush, really, with my limited answers to many other things, that wouldn't be bad. Um, we're going to double make a wish. That's iffy if I've ever seen it, but hmm, I would be, I think, better off with a silver inlaid dagger at this point. Maybe even main decking the Bramble Crush or the Cobbled Wings. I think for sure I would rather have Cobbled Wings than Make a Wish. But that looks like the deck I'm going with. So I know how it turned out, and you'll find out soon enough.